Hello everybody, how are you? So welcome to the Smrt Live class. And if you don't know me already, my name is Nicole. And today we're going to learn about apologizing, which is very, very important. And also a little bit about summarizing. So that's also a very useful skill, especially if you write for classes at university or things like that. All right, but before we start, I have some general information for you. So first, just like always, if you want to be a premium subscriber, you can. And right now we have a promotion where you can try 1 month for free, which is pretty awesome. So if you are interested in trying a free month of premium subscriber lessons, you can go to this website here at www.smartenglish.com/live/live. And there's lots of benefits to being a premium subscriber. You get quizzes and homework and access to the Smrt website and all kinds of really cool stuff. Okay. Also, some other important news. My next lesson is not going to be on Thursday. In the United States, Thursday is a holiday. Thursday is Thanksgiving, and everything is closed on Thanksgiving. So the stores are closed, the schools are closed, because of the big holiday. So my next lesson is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday, November 23rd, at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Right now, it's 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can think of this as tomorrow, 7 hours after Neil's lesson, or actually I think 6 hours, 6 hours after, because his lesson finishes at 8:30. 6 hours after Neil's lesson, my lesson will start. All right, so I hope that you're able to join us. And my premium subscribers, so Rodrigo and Fayez and Khalid and Daniel, I'll email you to make sure that you don't miss the lesson for tomorrow. Okay, so before we start, I'm just going to check the chat to make sure we don't have any questions, and then we'll get started with today's lesson. All right, let me take a quick peek. All right, very nice. So many compliments too. You guys are so sweet. I have such sweet students. Okay, so today we're going to start with learning about apologizing. So in most languages, there's many different ways to apologize, because your apology will be different if it's a small problem or small mistake, or if it's a big problem or big mistake. So just like other languages, it's the same in English. So let's start by looking at, and if you have the Smrt website, you can follow along. We're going to Use of English 3-1, How to Apologize, which looks just like this. So Use of English 3-1, How to Apologize. So we're going to start here. I'll read these directions for you. It says there are many ways to apologize in English. We're going to read and listen to the following conversations. And we're going to try to see or hear, how do the people apologize? And what do the others say to accept the apology? So how do you apologize? And how do you answer an apology? Before we start though, I know that the word apology, apologize, and sorry have similar meanings, and sometimes they're a little difficult, a little confusing. So I'm going to start there before we do the lesson with just a few notes. So let's go to our notes page. All right. And the first thing I want to do is write the word apologize, apology, and sorry. Do you know the difference amongst these words? The differences are pretty small, but they're important. The first difference is the part of speech. Apologize is a verb. Apology is a noun. And sorry is an adjective. So they're all different parts of speech. So we have to use different grammar when we make sentences with these words. I'm just going to give you a quick example for each one. So apologize is a verb. So for example, we can say, I apologize. Or for the past, you can say, I apologized to my brother yesterday, for example. So it's a verb. It's just a normal, regular verb with ed ending for past simple. Okay, apology, right here, apology is a noun. So for example, we can talk about apologies like this. So we are learning apologies today. Or I won't talk to him until he gives me an apology. We think of apology as something that you can give to someone else. We can give it and we can also accept it. We give an apology and we accept an apology. All right. And the last one is sorry, which is an adjective. Sometimes people try to use it like a verb, but it doesn't work. It has to be an adjective. So we usually use it after a be verb. I'll give you an example. So we usually say, I'm sorry. Or he's or he is sorry. They're sorry. Or maybe yesterday, they were sorry. So we usually use sorry after a be verb. Is that clear? Just to review, apologize is a verb. Apology is a noun, and it's a noun we can give or accept. And sorry is an adjective. All right, I hope that'll help before we jump into some more specific examples. Okay, I have a few questions in the chat. So let me take a few moments to answer some questions. So let's see, the first question I see is from Rosa. Does apology differ from formal to informal situation? Yes, absolutely. Apologies are very, very different for formal situations and casual situations, and we're going to learn that today. So good, very good question. Okay, which one has a strong intonation is what Sopam asks. So again, we'll go over that in just a minute. We'll talk about which ones are strong, which ones are weak, which ones are formal, and which ones are casual. But just of these two, because we're going to learn more in just a minute. But if you say, I apologize, and I'm sorry, just of these two, The first one, I apologize, is more formal. And I'm sorry is more casual. So I hope that helps for answering that so far. I think I also had some questions about 2 and 4. Where did that go? Oh, Carla. Apologize to someone for something. Good. And I haven't even taught that yet, and I will. Very good. But that's exactly right. We say, I apologize to a person. And I apologize. Oops. Let me get this all on one page. Here we go. I apologize to a person. So for example, I apologize to my brother was my example earlier. And then we also apologize for a thing. I apologize for the accident. Oops, and let me put thing here. And I'll put this as an example. I apologize for the accident. Or I apologize for breaking your computer. I apologize for taking your coffee. So we apologize for the thing, the action that was wrong. Good. And the same with sorry. We can't say I'm sorry to you. That doesn't make sense because sorry is always spoken directly to someone. So how about I'm sorry? We could say I'm sorry for though. I'm sorry for the accident. Same thing. I'm sorry for the accident. I'm sorry for taking your coffee, like that. So we use preposition for before the bad thing that we did. So good, very good. And also with apologize, we use to for the person. Good, let me see if there's any other questions so far. We have lots of great examples. Salua asks, what does casual mean? Good question. Casual is the opposite of formal. For example, let me write these words here, formal and casual. These words are opposite. So something that's formal language is language you use for people who are not your friends, but for people maybe like your boss, or maybe someone who's like at a higher level than you in your society or in your culture. So maybe for older people, we use formal language. Casual language is language we use for our friends, maybe like family members, like that. I'll give you a quick example of formal and casual. So we use formal language like hello, how are you? When we talk to our boss, for example. But if we're talking to our friends, maybe we say, hey, what's up? And that's an example of casual language. So formal language is very serious. Casual language is more fun, more relaxed. So good question. Let's see, what else? Any other questions about this? See, I feel sorry for you. Is it correct? Yes. I feel sorry for you means that you feel bad for someone's situation. So I feel sorry for you. You feel bad for their situation. That is correct. Let's see. So Swati asks, so what does it mean? Is it like I'm feeling sad for you? Yeah, I feel sorry for you means I'm feeling sad for you. That's absolutely right. Good. All right. Good. And so Diari brings up a good point too. We use sorry for other situations other than apologizing, like showing a sad feeling for someone's loss. That's true. Sorry has more than one meaning in English. One meaning for sorry is like an apology or apologize. But another meaning for sorry is feel sad. So if you say, I'm sorry you broke your leg, it doesn't mean that I broke your leg. It means I feel sad because you broke your leg. So we can use sorry if we are responsible for something, like we made a mistake and we want to apologize. Or we can also use sorry if we just feel sad for another person. I'll give you a quick example. If your friend says, my pet died yesterday, you can answer like, oh no, I'm so sorry. And you're not apologizing because you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't kill your friend's pet. Well, that'd be so terrible. So you didn't kill your friend's pet. You just feel sad for them. So we can say, I'm sorry. It's just a second meaning for the word sorry. So good point, Yari. Okay, good. All right, I think that's all the questions so far. So very nice. We have lots of good examples in the chat too. So good job. So I'm sorry and I apologize are two ways that we can say that we're sorry or that we can apologize for something, but there's more. There are more ways we can do this. So let's learn a few more ways to apologize. Are you ready? Ready? Okay, let's take a look. Back to the Smrt page. So you can see here there's a conversation. I will play the conversation. You can listen and also read along. Okay, so just a moment here. Here we go.
Are you okay? Are you injured?
I'm fine. How about you?
I'm okay too. I'm so sorry.
What happened?
Well, it's not good. We crashed because I was looking at my GPS. I wasn't watching the road.
No, that isn't good.
I know. Again, I'm deeply sorry.
All is forgiven, I guess. We're lucky we're both okay. Let's write down our information.
All right, so let's take a look here. Do you see any ways that people apologize here? What are some different words that people use to apologize? Let's see. Okay, so here we have I am so sorry. That's one way to apologize. Good. So I am so sorry. Or here it says I'm deeply sorry. And then the other person accepts the apology. Do you see how the apology is accepted? It's right here. It says all is forgiven. All is forgiven is one way that we can accept an apology. Oh, I see lots of questions in the chat. So let me go to the chat for a moment and answer a few questions. Okay, oh boy, lots of questions. Okay, so Steve Lynn asks, Nicole, I heard that in Canada, people say I am sorry in situations when normally Americans would say excuse me. Is that true? I think so. I've been to Canada one time. So I'm not 100% sure about how they do things in Canada, but I have heard this before too, that in Canada, people will say I'm sorry when in the United States, people would say excuse me. Like if you want to move out of the way, for example, like if you want someone to move, in the United States, we'd be like, oh, excuse me. But maybe in Canada, they would say, oh, I'm sorry. Or sorry. In America, like in the United States, it's sorry. In Canada, it's sorry. So a little different pronunciation too. Sorry and sorry for Canadian English. All right. So sorry or very sorry is another question from Sobham. You can say so or very. I'm very sorry. I'm so sorry. Both of these are okay. So is a little stronger, a little bigger. Let's see, do you use the word pardon in the USA? The French Leo asked this question. So sometimes we will say pardon or pardon me, but it's not so common in the United States. It's more common in other countries, like maybe in England, for example. But we do use it a little bit, just not very much. Let's see. Someone says, please correct my sentence. Who is Turkey? I'm not sure what that question means. Maybe where is Turkey? Turkey is the name of a country. Oh, and Vivek answered for you. Very good. All right, what other questions do we have? What are other ways to accept the apology? Oh, very good question, Mona. And in just a moment, I'm going to show you a big list. And then we'll talk about all of them together. We can say apology accepted as well as accepting an apology. Absolutely. And that's one of the ones we'll see in just a moment. So we're going to look at one more conversation. And then after the conversation, I'm going to show you a list or a chart that has a few different ways to give and accept apologies. But let's listen to one more conversation first. And again, you can read along on the screen, or if you have the Smrt website, you can also see it there. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Mr. James?
Yes?
I would like to apologize for not coming to work yesterday.
No need to apologize. Are you feeling better?
Oh, I wasn't sick. I was driving to work yesterday morning when suddenly someone crashed into me on the highway.
Oh no, are you okay?
Well, the car isn't, but I am.
There we go. We had another conversation. So, do you see any different ways that people apologize or accept apologies? Let's take a look. Here, it says, I would like to apologize for not coming to work yesterday. So instead of saying, I apologize, he says, I would like to apologize. And this is just a little more formal. So I apologize is already a little formal, but to make it even more formal, we can say I would like to apologize. And the other man's response is no need to apologize. No need to apologize. That's another way we can accept an apology, is to say, oh, no need to apologize. good. And then actually this comma here, we don't need. So I'll let the Smrt website know too. We don't need this comma here because we'll just say no need to apologize. It's all together, no comma. All right, very good. So I'm going to show you a list now of a few different ways. All right, so here are a few different ways to apologize. This box here is for small mistakes. And this box here is for more serious mistakes or more serious problems. So if you make a small mistake, you can say something like sorry or I'm sorry. Sometimes we use the word oops. Oops is a word we use when we make a mistake. For example, if you hit someone a little bit, like, oops. It's kind of like, oh no, but it's very small. Oops. Oops, sorry. You can say my fault, or in the United States, it's very slang, but we can also say my bad. My bad, meaning it's my fault and I'm sorry. So if you maybe forget, maybe you're 5 minutes late. If you're 5 minutes late, you say, oh, my bad. I'm late, my bad. Means my fault, I'm sorry. So my fault or my bad. And we can also say sorry about that. That's very common in the United States. Sorry about that. So sorry or I'm sorry. Oops, sorry. My fault or my bad. And sorry about that. Those are all ways we can apologize for a small mistake. Over on this side, we have some ways to apologize for something more serious. Here's the trick though, and this will make it easy to remember. Let me write something in our notes. Long apologies are more formal, and more serious. Short apologies are less formal, more for small problems. So anytime you have a really long apology with many words, it's going to be for something more serious. Okay, so here we go. Here it says, I'm so sorry. We added the word so to make our apology longer, and this makes it more serious. Also, we speak serious apologies more slowly. For small mistakes, sorry, I'm sorry. Serious mistakes, I'm so sorry. Speak slowly for serious apologies. I'm so sorry. Or our next one, I am deeply sorry. I am terribly sorry. See, speak very slowly because a serious apology has to be big, long. And this one, I apologize. See how slow it is? I apologize. And then here, I want to apologize. Or I would like to apologize. So that's how you sound more serious, more apologetic. Apologetic is the adjective for apologize. So Speak slowly, speak long. For a serious mistake. For a small mistake, it can be short and fast. Sorry. Sorry about that. Good. Do we understand so far? I'm going to check the chat and see if we have any questions. Let's see. Oh, lots of comments, lots of questions. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Oh, Rosa asked a really, really big question. What is the difference between American and Canadian pronunciation? Big, big question. But just for the word sorry, R. It's the same R like are you okay for American English. Sorry, the Canadian English, is more like the sore, like ow, ow, my arm is sore. So R, or. Or like the word or, like and, butter, or. So let me write that here. Sorry, for American English, sounds, the vowel sound is like R, like are you okay? And sorry for Canadian English is more like the or in like, do you want coffee or tea? So sorry, sorry. I know that's just one word, but I hope that helps a little bit. Okay, so in Japan, people say gomenasai for apology. That's true, Anthony. And actually, it's very similar in as to English. If it's just a simple problem, you can just say gomen. But for something more serious, gomenasai, a little bit bigger. So good. Let's see, any other ones? So welcome, Khalil. Let's see. And then Vivek says, isn't, may I know correct pronunciation? Isn't. Sounds like a Z. Anyone else? We use the modal would to apologize in formal situations. That's true, Rosa. So we often use would to make it more formal as well. Like, I would like to apologize. Would like is a phrase we use to make something more formal. So good. Oh, and we'll get to summarizing soon, Sammer. We haven't started it yet, but we'll do that in a few minutes. An Australian way of accepting an apology is no worries, and we're going to talk about that one in just a minute. So good. Okay, so Vivek says, no need to apologize. After comma, this sentence does sound correct. Let me write this sentence for you. No need to apologize. This sentence doesn't need a comma. So don't put a comma in this sentence. Is it okay to accept an apology from a person, even if he did a lot of mistakes? I can't answer that question for you. You have to answer that question for yourself. Some people can accept if people make a lot of mistakes, and some people can't. All right, any other questions? Oh, so Diari gave one more example. Please accept my humble apology. So that's very, very formal. I'll write that one for you. Please accept my humble apology. Good. Please accept my humble apology is very, very formal. So good. Good example, Diari. All right. So we looked a little bit here at different ways to apologize. And let's also look at different ways we can accept an apology. See, we already talked about this, just apologize for. Okay, here we go. How to accept an apology. So you can accept an apology for a small mistake with one of these phrases. We can say that's okay, or that's all right, So someone says, "Oh, sorry." You say, "That's okay. That's all right." Or, "Don't worry about it." I say this one a lot. Don't worry about it. We can also say "no problem" or "no worries." No problem is very, very, very common in the United States. People say no problem all the time. No problem. No worries. Someone wrote that it's more common in Australia, and that's true. It's more common in Australia, but you can say it here in the United States too. No need to apologize. Good. No harm done. Good. And it's all good. These are all very casual, very usual ways that we can accept an apology. For big, big apologies, for more serious mistakes, we can say, "Apology accepted," "I forgive you," or "all is forgiven." Forgive is when you accept an apology. That's what that verb means. So if you forgive someone, you don't feel angry with them anymore. They hurt you maybe, but you say, "No, it's okay, it's in the past." And forgive is an irregular verb. So let me put that in our notes. Forgive, forgave, forgiven. Forgive, forgave, forgiven. It's an irregular verb. All right. So, oh gosh, this class is going so quickly today. So, let's move on to our next point if we don't have any more questions. Oh, maybe we do have one or two. So the French Leo says in Japan, I believe it's sumimasen. It's kind of like "excuse me," but you can use it for "I'm sorry" too. Although I'm not an authority on Japanese. I lived there for 2 years, but you know, my Japanese is far from perfect. So good. Let's see. Any other? So the French Leo also asked, can we say "the whole is forgiven"? No, we can't say "the whole is forgiven." Let me write that here. So the whole is forgiven. We don't say this one in English. We have to say all. I know that all and the whole are very similar, but all is forgiven is an idiom. So we can't change this word to a synonym. So good, very good. All right. So, oh, Mona says no harm feeling. You're very, very close. You're mixing two of them together though. We can say no harm done, or we can say no hard feelings is another one. Let me put these on the same page. No harm done or no hard feelings. These are both ways we can accept a small apology. So good, but don't say harm feelings, say hard feelings. Good, very good. Okay, so great questions, everybody. I hope that that will help you with apologies in the future. So we do have one more topic to get through today, and that is summarizing. So summarizing is a really, really big topic. If you don't know what summarizing is, it's when you say or write the main idea of something longer. So for example, if you watch a movie and then you say what it's about, this is a summary. Like if you say 1 or 2 sentences, oh, this movie is about 4 women who fight ghosts. This is a summary of the movie Ghostbusters. Does that make sense? So we write or say the main idea of something longer. So a summary is always very short. So we watch a movie, say the main idea. Maybe we read a paragraph or an essay or a book. And then again, we say the main idea. Does that make sense? So we read something or we see something and we say the main idea. This is summarizing. But it's hard. Summarizing is very difficult, especially when English is not your first language. Because how do you know what's the main idea? How do you know what's important and what's not important? So there are many, many strategies for summarizing, but today I'm going to give you one strategy that I hope will help you with summarizing. So one way that you can summarize is look for this information and then try to make one sentence with all of this information together. We can look for who, what, where, when, and why. And sometimes all of this information will be there, sometimes it won't. But we can mark all of this information that we can find and then make a sentence. I know that sounds a little strange without an example, so let's look at an example so I can show you exactly what I mean. So let's take a look at a short paragraph. We'll read the paragraph and then we'll try to find who the paragraph is about, what the paragraph is about, where the paragraph is talking about, when the paragraph is talking about, and why. Okay, so let's read a paragraph together, and then we'll see if we can find some of this information. And then we'll put it together to make a sentence. And this will be our summary. Let's try. So I have a paragraph here, and you can read along while I read to you. It says here, strange race. A very unique race was held this weekend in Kyoto. The racers didn't use bicycles or cars. They used something a little different. Office chairs. The Isu 1 Grand Prix is held every year and is a team event. Each team has 3 members. The office chair racers must go around a 180-meter course many times in 2 hours. The race can be dangerous. This year, some riders were injured, and many office chairs were broken. The winning team won 90 kilograms of rice. The race is becoming very popular, and now other cities in Japan and around the world are doing similar races. All right. Do you understand this paragraph? If there's some things you don't understand, you can ask some questions in the chat. But first, I have some questions for you. We're going to try to write who, what, where, when, and why from information in this paragraph. So here we go. So in this paragraph, who are they talking about? They are talking about racers. Okay, so let's add that to our list. We have racers. Okay, what are they talking about? So what are they talking about in this reading? They're talking about using office chairs to race. Here's a picture of an office chair. So they're talking about office chair racing. Where? Where did this take place? Do you know this city? This city is in this country. So this is happening in Kyoto, Japan. So here we go, Kyoto, Japan. When did this happen? Let's see, when did this happen? This weekend. And since it says it was held this weekend, we know that it means like last weekend because it's past, so last weekend. When is last weekend? We could also say every year because it talks about how the race is held every year. And then why? It's not clear why. It doesn't say exactly why they race office chairs. We can imagine it's for fun. Also, it is for a prize. You can get 90 kilograms of rice. So maybe we can put that for our why, because this is the prize that you win if you win the race. So let's say for 90 kilograms of rice. So now I'm going to try to make one sentence using just this information. So for example, I can say last weekend, racers in Kyoto, Japan raced office chairs for a prize of 90 kilograms of rice. And that's our summary. Do you see how that works? We talk about who, what, where, when, and why. We find this information. We put it together in one sentence, and that's our summary. That's an easy way to learn how to summarize. So let me check the chat for any questions, and then I'm going to let you guys try one, okay, with the time that we have left. Okay, so very good. Let me see if anybody has questions. Lots of people put answers, which is awesome. Let's see. Good, good, good. So lots of just comments. Very nice. So why, to win, good, good. And a few other people wrote examples as well. Very nice. So we can consider the theme of the topic as a summary of the topic, is what Saddam asks. Yes, so the theme or the topic, these are ways of talking about summary. A summary is something short, maybe one or two sentences, that explains the topic or theme of a longer work. That's absolutely right, Saddam. So good, very nice. So let's try another one. So I'll show you another reading, and again, I'll read it to you. And in the chat, let's see if you can write who, what, where, when, and why, and see if you can put them together to make one sentence for a summary. Are you ready? Ready to try? Okay, here we go. Here is another reading. This reading is called Turkey Trouble. It says here, a man was shot with a gun by another hunter who thought he was a turkey. The 61-year-old man was hunting turkeys with his friends on Sunday morning in Michigan, USA, when he was hit in the left arm by a bullet. The injured man was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Doctors at the hospital took care of him, and now he is doing well. The man was very angry at the other hunter. In the end, the hunter who made the mistake was put in prison, and he had to pay a large fine. I'll give you a little more time to read and to answer, and I'll put on our favorite music here while you work, okay? So here we go. All right, so let's see some answers for this summary exercise. And I know it's a little difficult to do summaries in the chat, so it's okay if you don't have anything written down in the chat. We can still practice together. It says here, let's see. Our first one is who and then what. So a good answer for who, how many people do we have here? We have a few people in our story. So one man was shot, and then another man shot him. So let's put both of these on our list, and then we'll figure out how to put them in our summary. So we have two people. So we have two hunters, one who was shot, and one who shot someone. Okay, and we'll figure out exactly how we want to put both of these people into our summary in just a moment. All right, so what happened? So I know they're talking about hunting turkeys, but there's a more important thing that happened. What's the really, really important thing that happened in our story? A man was shot. So someone was shot. Where did this happen? Everybody who wrote this got this right. Michigan, USA, very good. And when did this happen? On Sunday morning. So we can add that here on Sunday morning. And why? Why was he shot? Did the other hunter hate him? No, that's not what happened. So he was shot because the other person thought he was a turkey. Oh no! See, it says that here. Let's see. Who thought he was a turkey. Oh no! So he thought the other man was a turkey. So let's see if we can put all this together into a sentence. And we have a few different examples in the chat. So let's see. I'm going to copy some of your sentences in the chat so we can look at them. So let's see. First, I'll just copy and paste a few of them here, and then we'll talk about them. So give me just one moment. You guys can read each other's here. And I'll do 3 at a time. Let me grab these first 3. Okay. So let's take a look at these 3. I'm just going to make these a little bigger so it's easy to see. Okay. So our first sentence says, on Sunday morning in Michigan, USA, let's just make USA capital. A man did a mistake by shooting another hunter because he thought he was a turkey. That's wonderful. Very good job. We have when, where, who, and what, and why. We have absolutely everything in one sentence. Very nice job. Let's look at our next one. It says, in Michigan, USA, I'm just going to put a comma here. One man shot another manhunter because, and I'll just make this an A, there we go, because he thought it was a turkey. Instead of it, I'm just going to say he, because they're both men. But good, we can say that. Very nice. Let's look at this next one. A 61-year-old man was shot in the left arm as thought to be a turkey. So as can mean because, but we have to put a subject afterwards. As he maybe was thought to be a turkey. We just need to make sure we put a subject and verb after the conjunction. As he was thought to be a turkey. The angry man was taken care of at the hospital. The hunter was put in prison. So this is more information, but if we wanted a longer summary, that is additional information that we could add. But if we can only put one sentence, then we would want this information right here. And then also maybe where and when. So we could add when this happened and also where this happened. And then this one too, maybe we could add when, maybe on Sunday morning. So good. So very nice. Maybe this one we could just add when. And then maybe this one we could just add where and when to make it just a little bit stronger. Let me give you one or two more examples. I probably won't get to everybody's, but let's put, a couple more. Yep, and then somebody wrote in the chat that when you summarize, the details are unimportant. And that's absolutely correct. So when you summarize, the details are not important. What's important are just the main ideas. Let's see, I'll do 3 more. Okay, and if I don't get to yours, I'm sorry. There's just so many here. I'll get to as many as I can before we run out of time here. All right. So it says here, on Sunday morning, a man was shot with a gun by a 61-year-old man who thought that he was a turkey in Michigan, USA. Good. So we have when, who, what, why, where. Very good. Our next one says on Sunday morning, and I'm just going to make this a small letter. A 61-year-old man was shot in the left arm as, I'll say he was thought to be a turkey. Is this the same one as before? Oh yes, we just added on Sunday morning, so good. So good. So this one I think is very, very similar to this one right here. All right, we just added also and had to pay a fine. So this information, these are details, so we don't have to add those to our summary. They are important points in the story, but they're not the main idea of the story. They're just extra details. Okay, and then our last one says, a 61-year-old man was hunting turkeys with his friends, and he was hit on his arm with a gun by another hunter who thought he was a turkey on Sunday morning in Michigan. Very nice. We got all the correct information here too. Whew. You guys did a good job. The really difficult part, I think, is that some people forgot the where and when, and some people wanted to put extra information. But remember that summaries only need the main ideas. So if it's a summary of something small, like a paragraph, it doesn't need a lot of information, maybe just one sentence with the biggest idea. Everyone did very well, though. You did a great job. All right. So Steve says, wow, it's like rocket science to put so much information into one single sentence. It is difficult, isn't it? Luckily, where and when, we can usually use prepositional phrases at the beginning or the end of our sentence. So really the hard part is the who, what, and why. We can usually begin with who as a subject, and then say the what, and then we can say because, and then why. So let me write that down. So maybe a good strategy would be to say who plus what plus, because, and then why. And then before or after, you can put your prepositional phrases with when and where at the beginning or the end. But it is difficult to organize all this information together. I absolutely agree. Well, I have to stop here because we're out of time. But I just want to remind you one last time that if you want to be a premium subscriber, please go to this website, www.smartenglish.com/live/live, and try 1 month for free, which would be really fun. And also that my next lesson is not on Thursday. My next lesson is going to be tomorrow, Wednesday, November 23rd at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So 6 hours after Neil's lesson finishes. So after Neil's lesson finishes at 8:30 tomorrow morning, you can wait 6 hours and then come watch my video. All right, have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody. And I hope to see you all again tomorrow. For me, it will be tomorrow afternoon. For many of you, it will be tomorrow night or maybe even tomorrow morning. So again, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much and goodbye.